The on watch page. Oh, told me it was starting. It didn't tell me it was starting. Go figure that out, right? All right. Let's see if you can hear and see me. If you can do that, then we're halfway there. This is kind of a whatever paint session. By the way, I mean really. Hello, says Nella Brat. Hold on, I gotta put my glasses on to see that one. Hold on. It's because I'm old. Nella Brad. Okay, there we go. How are you? All right, so anyways, we're going to continue painting here. I'm going to show you a few more things that I learned with the contrast paints and some things that you need to mess around with. Down River Vic says, hey Rob, we can see and hear you, so that means we're a go. So I'm going to tell you guys, this is kind of thrown together today. I was planning on doing all these kinds of things, but I just went out and I spent $3,000 on equipment for this stupid room. So what did I get? We're going to improve everything. I just figured I might as well just throw it all in and get it all done. We are going to have an overhead shot from now on, so the table doesn't move. We're going to have another shot over there coming down, so you can see close up behind the lights. We bought a brand new I brought a tower instead of the laptop I have here. I have 9,000 cords over there, so where I'm looking at you guys, and I just want to clear off this entire table so we can start to do some of the bigger things I want to do, and it's going to start tomorrow, so hopefully I can get everything up and running by tomorrow. That's why I didn't make a live event for tomorrow, and there's no interview tomorrow because it's actually going to be next week, because I really want to try to get this stuff done before the Dice Tower Con. Then I have to go see Pete. Man, I think I said enough. I should just go home now. All right, without further ado, let's go down to the table and let's just talk a few things about some of the things that you can do with. Hold on, let me, oh, yeah, it's over there. There we go. Phew. All right, we're down on the table here, so we're off and running. One of the things I wanted to show you, and these contrast paints really help you cut corners, especially with things like ships, okay? Ships are a pain in the neck, okay? So I'm going to show you some quick things real quick here. Some quick things real quick. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Just by using some of these contrast paints. So the first thing I'm going to do, well, the first thing I did do, okay, just to take a look at the deck here, okay. I'm going to try to bring it a little closer so it kind of focuses in. Look at that deck, okay. Look at that decking. And I did that with just the Skeletal Horde, because it really, all I want is a nice light color on that deck right now, okay. Now the next thing I want to do, and if I can find the right brush to do it with, we'd be off and running. I can use this one. If I don't like it, I'll change up. I'm gonna show you some of the Batman things. We're gonna finish those too, so don't worry. We're gonna get right into it for sure. All right. So I'm gonna take some of this contrast, this wildwood, okay, and this stuff really works good. And all I'm going to do is just take and just really kind of move that around with this brush. I'm not worried about getting it on the sea there, because we're going to be covering up the sea sure enough. But the gray contrast here really helps out, because what we're going to do is we're going to move this around enough so we can get a little bit underneath, and then I'll show you one a little bit in a little bit, but we're going to just paint this one real quick, and I'm going to just show you how quick this goes and how nice this looks, just by just going over this a bit, like so. Alright. And I know today's stream is a little early for everybody, so, you know, but I had so much I got to do here. You know, it's never ending, it seems. Every time I turn around, it's always something. So I want to be careful because I really don't want to take, but I'm not worried about it because there's another wash that's going to go over this. So I'm going to come over to the other side, and you really want to take this contrast paint and really spread it out. Okay, you want that gray to kind of peek through a little bit. So you want to take a little from over here, and you just want to kind of work it around here. Oh, let me just turn that so you guys can see it as well. And all we want to do is we just want to get this hole covered. And you can see the contrast paint does a really nice job, and it really cuts a lot of corners for you. Alright, and it goes through pretty quickly. And we'll just go here. You want to be careful. Alright, but not too careful. You're not too worried about it. Alright, let me get my big mitts out of the way. And just do a little thing like that, see? You see what we're doing here? Okay. And I'm going to come around the front here. And I don't want to hit this, yeah, you got it. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come across here, and I'm just going to try to hit this a little bit. Now I don't have to hit it that hard, okay, and I can actually I want to get all, and it's going to look like garbage to begin with, but you'll see what I'm going to do next and how it all kind of works together. And all I'm trying to do is hit all these masks nice and easy. I don't have to be perfect with them. There's a reason for it, folks. There's a reason. But I just want to hit these masks a little bit. And I'm just going to take a little bit here and come over here. And you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. Don't worry about if you bleed over a little bit. It's alright. It's okay. Just stay with me, folks. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Nothing has to look perfect, but this is a quick way to really knock out some ships, especially for a neat little game like this. Now, what game am I talking about? Hey, I'm going to show you. Sure enough, I recognize these figures, says the beloved Helen Adams, who I have not talked to in almost 4 days. I gave her a break. I'll tell you why. I have been absolutely overwhelmed with so many things, and so has she. She's been trying to catch up with her work, and it's been busy. Now, the new rig I got, you got to see this thing. This thing glows in the dark. We're going to be able to do everything out here. I got new software, just a lot of stuff that I'm trying to upgrade on, and tomorrow I'm going to debut it, hopefully. All right, we're going to turn this ship around. Now you see exactly what I'm doing here, and it looks pathetic, but you got to stick with me. You got to stick with me here, all right? Just stick with me. You got to trust me. I am not a professional, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to put that over there so I have it a little handy. And then we're going to come into the front here. Like I said, we're just going to kind of, and I'm not worried about hitting the mast here. I could take a little bit of this off. And in between here, that's fine too. Boom, boom, boom. And these masts, I think the middle mast on some of these comes out. I'm going to show you what these are in a second, because when I put this down. But right now I'm in such a groove painting masts. Why don't we just go all the way through it, right? Right? Am I right? And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And you're going to see how this all is going to tie together at some point, and that you guys can do this. Now, this game here, and we'll talk a little bit about the game while we're at it, is kind of like, oh God, what's the best way to put it? It's kind of Age of Sails meets. It's a quicker. fun version, not that Age of Sails is not fun, don't get me wrong, but it is a lighter version of Age of Sails, I think. And I think it's just something that if you have a it's very strategic, yes, but I think if you have somebody that you want to teach some of this stuff to, you know, and you want to play something nautical, well, I think this is the game to do it. And the name of this game is, I actually did a video on it the other week. Well, I didn't do the video, I actually filmed it at BGG, and it's called British versus Pirates. Now, this is just it funded twice, actually, because the first time they did, what was it, Volume 1, then they did Volume 2, then they added the Chinese and for shipping lanes and stuff like, oh God, there's something for everybody in this, and you can get this if you just type in www.British versus Pirates. Boom, you're off and running. All right, I'm just going to finish this up a little bit. I'm not too worried if I miss anything here. I'm really not, because you're going to see what I'm going to do with this. Sure enough. Just stick with me, folks. Just stick with me. And I'm gonna go to the up camera in a second here. I just want to get this last mast. And you can see just doing this with these contrast paints really is quick. But we're going to do a little trick here. And well, it's not so much a trick. It's going to be something where we're just going to kind of going to get things going quickly. I want to get that in there. And you want to try to neaten it up as much as you can. All right. Doesn't look like anything now. Look at those sails. Those sails are disgusting. We got to fix those. Okay, so I'm going to just put this over here. I'm going to let it dry for a second. And I'm going to show you again how I put the skeletal part on. But we're going to come up top and I'm going to show you the box. Boom. For those of you that are interested, British versus Pirates comes with everything. Comes with 19 miniatures in the box, a ton of dice, everything that you need, and it plays on these little squares. So it really, you can play this on a 2x2, 1x1, and just have a blast for sure. So it's something really, really neat. My brother from another mother, Keith Collins, says, with the release of these contrast paints, is it something that you would add to beginners toolkit for someone who wants to dabble with try painting? Yes. I'm starting to believe that these things cut a lot of corners, and I'm going to show you how and why in a second. We're going to let that dry just for a second. Let's go back to last week, though. All right, let's go back to last week when we were painting last week. What is the advantage of contrast paints? Is using glazed medium with paints the same effect? Yes, I would say so, but let's be very frank here, okay, and very to the point. You know what I try to do these videos to on Rob's Tabletop World. See that? Got the T-shirt too. All the proceeds go to charity. Helen, hit them with the link in case they want to get a War and Pieces. We have so many T-shirts coming out, it's like ridiculous. But all of it's going to charity, folks. So anyways, the point of this video is I am leaning towards the person that's never picked up a paintbrush. Okay, so I'm trying to show them the contrast paints and the things that you can do with very basic painting skill. Okay, picking up a brush, picking up a contrast paint and going. Not cutting with glazed medium, not cutting it, not mixing, not this, that, the other, nothing. Just get it on the brush, get it on a figure, and you're off and running. Tim, how are you? Good to see you. So that's the thing that I'm trying to teach here. All right, let's go back down to, well, before we go back down to the table, let me make sure I answered all the questions because I got that stupid computer. I also bought a monitor, and just to let you know, that I have a monitor that I can actually pull towards me and push back because it hooks into the table now. I dropped some cash, and you want to know something? The Queen is not happy with me whatsoever. I'm a dead man walking. the Best Buy card got hit pretty hard today with authority. And what was my work? My work was going, but honey, it's a tax write-off. Yeah, do you think she bought that? Thanks for the clarification. Hey, no problem, brother. That's what we're here for. We're trying to make it easier for everybody. Because everybody should pick up a brush and color their world the way they see it. I say that all the time. You know, yeah, it's a little bit of a catchphrase. But honestly, folks, all I want you to do is not be afraid. You have all these beautiful miniatures nowadays. Go out and paint them. Go out and paint them. All right. Where was I? Bing, bang, boom. Oh, let's go back to last week and take a look at some of the figures that we worked on and do a little cleanup here. All right. So some of the things that we want to hit home was the big fella here, okay, which is Killer Croc. And remember this guy we were kind of confused about? Well, let me show you what I did a little bit, and I experimented, and then I just kept on going. One of the things that you want to do is after you put the contrast, because this was completely built with contrast paints, but I took a little bit of this dry. This is why keeping Citadel with Citadel really works when you have like a long beard and it's a dry paint. So I'm going to show you inside what it looks like. It looks like baby puke, basically, okay? And all you want to do is just rub a little bit of this on your brush, okay? And you can see it's dry paint, it's not wet, okay? And all I'm doing, and it's kind of rubbery. Okay, let me see if I can do this where you guys can see it. It's kind of, see how it flaked up a little bit right there? That's all like stuff. All right, let me get a brand new piece of thing here because we've been using this one for like 2 shows already. All right, and all I wanted to do was bring in a little depth. So I'm going to take this dry paint and see how that just kind of comes off a little bit. Well, I really don't want a lot on my brush here, okay? And I want to take it off as much as humanly possible. Now, if you watched the show before, you know this is a skill that we do quite a bit, where we dry brush a bit. And all I want to do is just very lightly just hit those highlights, okay? Got a little bit too much on there still. But the main thing is do you see how dark his skin is? Well, I want to bring that back a little bit. So I want to just kind of lightly go over. I don't want to take out all that really, really nice detail that we put on there with a wash. I want to bring his fists back a little bit. You can see what I'm doing here. How we're just making Solomon Grundy today on Monday all finished. That was so easy, you know, especially if you had the stream live on a Monday. Okay, never mind. All right, so again, I got to stop with the humor. I got to stop with the humor. And look how I just want to go over his face. I want to bring out some of the features of this beautiful model. This beautiful, beautiful model. Thank you, Monolith, for doing, you know, really taking some care in here. See how his face comes out? See how it starts to stand out a little bit? Just by lightly, and I do mean lightly. It's okay if you get a little bit on the clothes here. See how that works? It kind of adds to him a little bit. I want to come over into his legs. I want those to kind of just start standing out. I don't want to lose that wash that I put in there. Into his feet. His foots. Back into his fist again. I want those veins popping out. I want to bring the detail to the top. I'm just using a nice little flat brush here. And all I'm doing is working on the detail of Solomon Grundy so he really stands out. So you get the feeling that he's just menacing. We want those muscles to stand out. Look at the calves. Look how strong his calves are. We want to shine those. We want to make those stand out. Look at those calves right there. Look how, I mean, just beautifully detailed and put together. He's got fantastic forearms for whatever he is. What is Solomon Grundy? I'm not a big DC guy, but I'm more a Marvel. I've always been a Marvel guy. Fantastic Four, all that stuff. It's always been my favorite. And then boom, you see how that all kind of works together? You kind of work it in the back here a little bit. There we go. Boom, 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 boom. And then we're at the dance with this guy. I mean, because you can see the detail. Okay, there we go. See the detail in that face? That's all we want. Now he's ready to go. He's ready to bring it. A lot better than what we saw last week. Okay. Now, over here, with our man here, I'm just going to, see, I still have a little bit here in this area, and I'm going to just work it here. I had that little lump there, so I'm just going to use everything that you possibly can. Boop, 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 boop. See, you even get sound effects. Now, these pants here, you know, just too dark. And this little bit of gray is going to help us a little bit here. Okay, by just bringing out a little bit of detail. All we want to do is just, we want to catch the edges here very lightly. We want to bring some depth, because nothing is just one color in this world. There are lights, there are shadows, there are all these things that kind of just come together in life and makes things, you know, 4K. Is that the best way to put it? See how that, see now all of a sudden how that's starting to come together? That's all we want to do. Hi all, just picked up the media, a black, brown, and light primer. We'll give it a go over the weekend. All right. Serial Heroes, how are you? Basically a big swamp zombie. Oh, okay. There you go. That's all I needed to know. Swamp zombie. Matter of fact, we should play a game of zombies tomorrow, because why? I'll tell you why. The other thing we want to do is we really want these bandages to stand out. Remember that? Remember how we darkened up these bandages and we said, you know, we got to bring these out for this guy, because this is a critical part of our man here. All right, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Just taking that brush, working that in there. Now all of a sudden these bandages really make sense, and they bring depth to this figure. That's whoops. Hold on to the figure first. Yeah, we're going to work his midsection a little bit, and a little bit of his area there. And we just really see how those bandages start. Just that little bit of dry paint. Just a little bit there. Just working. Hello, Rob. Listen to you while I'm fishing. Oh, well, hey. Hopefully I don't scare any of the fish away. All right, fish. Bite now. Let's see what kind of powers I have. None. I have influence over nothing. Man, I sound like from Castaway. All right, see? Now all of a sudden, you can even, if you wanted to be a little daring, just kind of bring it all out. Now, this face here, we've got to do something with. We'll worry about that later. All right, very nice. All right, let's go back to our ships here. Because I really want to show you what this contrast paint can do. One of the hardest things to do is to actually paint water. Okay? Because you have to layer it so many times. What this does, this contrast place, like this Talisar blue, is actually going to take a couple of steps out for us. Okay? Well, how, Rob? Well, I'm going to show you. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that that's dry there. And I'm just going to take some of this Talisar blue. And all I want to do is just get it on here nice and thick. There we go. I want it to get a little bit on that lip. But watch what happens here. Watch how this just works. When you move it around. Do you see what this does? You see how this just, it's insta water. It's so nice and thinned out. And it does a couple of things. It acts like a wash, but it acts like a paint. So you see how this just gives you almost like insta ocean. My dog's like losing her shit. Excuse my language. She hears something outside. Probably the delivery guy. Oh my God, the deliveries that we have gotten today. But wait till you guys see. Wait till you see what we got in today. All right, there we go. So I'm just again. And just utilize that. Utilize that and move it around. You could put it thick in certain areas. See how it just gives that beautiful water effect. See what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard to see here. Hold on. I'll just clear off this brush a little bit. It's a little hard to see because I don't know how. All right, there we go. But you can see that there are dark areas and there's light areas. So it gives you, it cuts out almost 3 steps. So now all of a sudden you just have like 1 step to do. So we're going to let that dry for a second. We're going to come back over here. I want to show you right here. We're going to use that blue again. And only this time we're going to use a different contrast blue because we want to darken up that shirt. That's not it. Hold on, bear with me. I think it's Leviathan blue. Is that what? Yes. All right. So we're going to want to use that. I mean, if we use that light blue on there, we would really lose that shirt, and we really don't want to. You don't want to commit to just one color. I'm going to talk about something else about this. I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. Forgive me. That's just me. But this darker blue here, and we're going to use a smaller brush for this because we've got to be very specific with it, or else we're going to run into some problems where we're going to have to clean some things up. I want this dark, okay? Because I want to be able to lighten it a little bit later. And priming it with that gray, now you see, I want to be very careful around this skin, but I also want to move this around where I can get what I'm looking for, okay? Where I don't have to throw a wash over this or even dry brush over it that much, okay? So I'm being very deliberate in what I do. I don't know why he has a blue shirt, but it shows it in the picture, so we're going to go with it. All right, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with it. And we really want to be very deliberate here. But we want to go in there thin enough where we can get some of that, just get a little bit of that detail in there. And I'm just going to work here, work around, being very careful not to hit that skin. This is when, this is when you're going to use these contrast paints. And yeah, they cut a lot of time out, but also, you got to be very deliberate with them over some colors, especially over a lighter color. If you make a mistake, hey, that's just life, folks. You just fix it. And this is live, so I'm bound to make a mistake, or 2, or 5. And I'll just show you how I fix it. That's all. Alright, so now we're just going to come in here, just go through here. And this is a darker blue, so I could lighten it up a little later. The other thing you got to make sure is that you prime really, really well. Okay? Blue shirt must bring out his eyes. Yes, his eyes of puke, whatever it is. You got to make sure you prime really well, because if one thing I've noticed, if you miss a little bit of a spot, the paint will not stick. It will repel. It will back up. I'm sorry if I'm blocking the paint job here. I just need to get around that end there. Okay, so I want to make sure that we get in there. We want to get everything in there because you don't want any white to stand through. Boom. If you do, guess what? You're going to have a problem. Alright, now we're going to come back to this guy in a bit. We're going to let him dry a little bit. Now, we were talking about those ships, weren't we? Well, we were kind of talking about those ships. Now watch how quick. Now, right now, this just looks total garbage. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to paint and purge, kinda. Rob does sometimes. There you go. I'm busy painting a purge of my collection. I have no idea. All the games in Rob's collection don't cause anxiety. Blue shirt must bring out his eyes. Exactly. James, Hannah, what's up, my brother? All right, so we're going to let that dry on the bottom there. But while that's drying, we're going to bring out an old favorite, okay? Newell oil, okay? Now, as you can see, remember, I told you not to worry about anything with those sails, right? Why, Rob? Well, I'm going to show you why. Because we're going to darken up those sails pretty much. Because let's be honest, you may watch those shows, but there is no way that a guy isn't going to shower for 4 months, but he's going to wash sails. No, these sails are going to get nasty, dirty, and everything else. And all we're going to do is take this new oil, and we're not afraid to go over the contrast or anything else we have on here. All right, and see what's happening there? Yeah, it's pulling up, but don't worry about it. Move it around, move it around, move it around. All right, you want to move it around. Don't worry about the flags. We'll get the flags later. Flags are British or pirate. It's as simple as that. Now, it gets a little confusing when we have the Spanish and everybody else. That's in volume 2, but don't worry. Don't worry, we'll be hitting those up too. But I want to get these kind of done so we can do a little battle in the next day or two, or maybe probably by next week. And as you can see, I put it on a little thick over there. That's okay, because I'm going to take it with my brush and move it around. Don't worry about hitting the bottom here even. Okay? You're going to come on this side, and you're going to just utilize what you have on the thing here and just move it around, move it around. Remember, we're just doing a nice amateur type of paint job here that you guys can do very quickly, and it's fun to paint your own ships. It really is. And I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to do this. We'll do the flags. These are one of the bigger ships. I'll show you some of the other ships in a second. Let me just get the rest of this on here. Move it around a little bit. Bink, 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 bink. And look at that. Taking a shot of Jack doesn't help either. Whoa, whoa. Listen, it's not that bad. I didn't realize the Batman game had ships. No, we're mixing. We're going back and forth between a couple things, and the reason we're doing that, Serial Hero, the Batman game does not have ships, but it does have a car and a dinosaur. So figure that one out. I'm showing different things that you can do with these contrast paints, and how quick you can, like do some ships. You can, it doesn't have to just be figures. So I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, and I think it's just good in general. There you go. That's my thought. Boom. All right. So once it dries, it's going to kind of look like that. Now I just painted some gold, a little bit of retribution armor around. But the nice thing about that is I'm going to take and go with some Agrath Earth shade around to really bring out the detail. What you can do to kind of bring that out, hold on here, let me grab another brush. Remember, we don't want to leave those, listen, they didn't wash themselves, but let's be honest, they did care about their sails a little bit. And even though they didn't take a shower for like 30 days when they were out to sea, maybe longer, basically, let's be honest, okay? These guys were told to clean the sails before themselves. So, while they didn't clean them perfectly, because they didn't even clean themselves, let's just be honest. They're going to make sure that, you can see on the bottom, this was, okay, that's just, we don't want to have that much on there. All right. And all we're going to do here, there's a couple things you can do with this white, okay? And we use the base ceramic white, okay? You can do one or two things. You can, well, kind of go over these waves a little bit and bring out some of those ripples. Oh, look at that. And just like that, you can have yourself, and maybe we should just put a little more white. You can get those waves going up, those high tops. Me, I rather do it a little bit differently, and I'll show you why. But all right, come on. Don't think I have enough. The upper, don't forget to mash. Hey, Big Bang, you mash it down, that's fine too. Don't matter to me. No skin off my shirt. Helen banned Big Bang. He's one of the guys that's been here the longest. All right, so now with these sails, getting that ceramic white, and just remember what I always tell you. Better to put too little than to too much. And all we want to do is make these sails kind of start to come to life a little bit. Just come over the top. Yeah, there you go. And if you notice, they kind of start bringing out the mast. See how I brought that out right there by just taking a little bit of that white there? Well then, let's bring that up there. See, I didn't have to go really detailed. All I had to do is just kind of brush over there a little bit and then come over the higher part of these sails. And you're getting a little sail lesson too. Go on the back end here. Listen, this is just to get this game. You want to get this game on the board. You don't want to sit here all day like a chooch like me. Boom, 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 boom. Now all of a sudden, we got ourselves a little bit of a ship there. Got a little bit of ship action going there. How easy was that, right? How easy was that? Jeez. Now, the one thing that we can't do, and I want to show you what, some of these are going to start red. So you're going to prime them that gray. Here's a pirate ship. It's the same as, there's no difference between that ship and this ship. Boom. Well, a little bit. Well, a lot. Wait a minute, hold on. Don't they have one just like this? Oh, no, they don't. Okay. Oh, no, they do. Okay. I'm just getting confused here. Yeah. They have the exact same. The pirates have the balanced ships all the way through. The pirates have the same ships that these guys have, pretty much. All right, cool. So, like I said, you can take like a Hoth blue, and you can lighten up the sea if you want to. And all you're going to do is just take a little bit of that. Of course, I had to take a lot of it. And before you go too light, you can actually add a little bit of white in there if you want to. Sometimes I'll just reach in there, do that. Kind of work it in with my brush. I mean, you can mix anywhere you want, to be honest with you. And then you just go over this ocean a little bit. And you can see how that kind of brings out those waves a little bit. Then you put the white on if you really want to get crazy. See how that ocean just stands right out? Boom, 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 boom. Just like that. Now, if you really want to go crazy, and sometimes I do, you can take some of this retribution with a nice thin, nice small thing here. Knowing how to work light and shade helps when painting. I am learning about that. Well, that's what we're here to do, my man. That's what we're here to do. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of this gold, and maybe I just want to put down the thing. Maybe I just want to kind of hit some of these things here, and just kind of just lightly go over. You know, you can do this. Anybody can do this. It just gives a little nuance to that ship. And just hit the back here, and come around the side here. Now, if you really want to get crazy, you can put black on all the cannons and stuff like that. Hey, that works too. You can run some silver in here too for the chains. It depends on how detailed you want to get. What do you want to do? Now, like right here, I'm going to go all the way around here. Hold on. I just want to bring this ship and give it a little bit of cockiness. It's like, yeah, come get some of this, bruh. You know you want to take on some of this because we're going to sink you. That's why we look this way. So it gives you a little bit more depth. And like I said, you know, it's really up to you. I mean, you can go all the way across here if you wanted to. You can go all across there. You can do anything you want, whatever your little heart desires. And it doesn't take you long to crank this thing out. I mean, boom, 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 you're done. Then you just take you want to darken up, where is it? No, that's the new oil. You want to take a little Agrath Earthshade? Heck yeah, sure you do. Where is it? Okay, there we go. You're going to take your flat brush here. And that gold, you can't let that gold sit there because it becomes distracting a bit. So just coming with nice Agrath Earthshade. Look at that. It just darkens and brings everything out. Just that little bit of extra effort sometimes. And it doesn't take long to do these, okay? It really doesn't. We're going to let this dry. And then by the time it's dry, we'll know where we're at. You really, you know, you got this beautiful art that they took the time to put in there. Why don't we try to bring it out a little bit, right? Right? And if we're going to make it look gold, why don't we just really put in the extra effort? You take a little bit of that Agrath Earthshade, put it right over that. Boom, boom, boom. Even though we just put that on there. Boom, 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 boom. And then when that dries, that's when we come back to it. And we even darken, we even make it pop. So when you're playing and you're saying, yeah, that's my ship, boy. That's my ship. So I'm gonna put that over here and let it dry. All right. So I think you get the basic idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. The flags are going to be important when you get to it. You know, you're going to have to try to, you know, put a little blue and a little red in there, you know, for the British, and then the pirates are easy. Black, a little bit of, try to do your own little skull if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just a little dot of white will sell that whole thing for you. All right, what time are we at? Oh, not bad. 45 minutes. I'm doing all right here. All right, so one of the other things I want to talk about these contrast paints is whether to use them or not, because it becomes a hard decision on how you want to do something. I'm going to show you something particular. Okay, forgive me. I'm just making an adjustment here, and I want to get something to drink while I'm here. And tomorrow, I'm telling you, all this stuff is going to be gone. I'm going to miss it. This is how we started. Wait till you see what we have planned. Spent a lot of money to do this. Bring it all together for you guys. That's what I do. That's what I do. Wife don't get it. Queen don't get it. Queen said I should make a t-shirt of her. How many people would buy a Queen t-shirt? That's what I like to know. She said she would outsell the tiger. I don't know. I think the tiger got it down. Tiger got it down. All right, so knowing how to... Okay, I just want to make sure that I covered and I talked... Putting the Union Jack on those flags requires a great eye, a detail. Well, you know, the real thing about it, Dutch, is you're going to put the Union Jack, but you're going to really work on just getting the blue on there. And then, you know, if anything, I would just really work on the blue and a little bit of the white and red, and just so you know the difference. It doesn't have to be perfect. All you want to do is just really, really try to get it to where you feel comfortable with it. That's what's most important more than anything. All right, so let's get back to what we were doing here. Now, one of the big things, and I really want to drill this home, is do you prime black and forget the contrast, or do you prime gray or white and decide to use the contrast? It really depends on how you want to build something. And we have a perfect example coming up right now where I think, I forgot the name of this guy. Bloom. Yeah, Bloom. Now here's a perfect example of, you know, kind of being at that in between. You know, are you really saving time, or are you just going for effect? All right, so we have Bloom here. Now, as you can see here with his gang here, okay, most of them is black. Okay, so what would be easier, painting this on and just worrying about, or painting the skin on later and doing a wash, you know, and just forgetting the contrast paints completely? Well, I went with the gray. I painted the black on, which wasn't a big deal. And I think with the contrast, I really thought that the Plague Bearer that I used early last week before we left really gave this really kind of creepy look, and I kind of liked it a lot. So I said, okay, why don't we just go with that, because that contrast paint really sells what I'm trying to do here. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So this is one of those occasions where you kind of need to think it out and say, well, do I really need to, or do I not need to? Am I just using the contrast paints because, well, I want to use the contrast paints, and is it making it easier? Well, it makes it easier when we're doing this, because now we don't, you know, doing the skin and the flesh is probably most of the battle here with this. Painting the black on isn't a bad thing. But you could easily have just spray painted this all black and then put a white or a palette witch flesh, and then just a nice, they have a good wash that you could have done it. It really depends on what you feel works for you. And some of the paint, I'm telling you, I know I checked these guys 5 times, but the paint sometimes is rejecting some of this stuff, and you got to look for that. You got to stay on it. All right, now you see how easy this is. I'm using the Plague Bearer flesh. I really think it works well with his grouping or his guys, and it just really goes in there nice. And it's a real quick, you know, these are quick gang members. You can bang these out. If there were 50 of them, you would have it done in less than an hour. Honestly, I mean, it's that easy. Just making sure that you move that paint around. You get that contrast paint in there, and you just work it all around. Like I said with this guy, you know, just boom, 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 and it just works. That's all I can say. There we go. Get his fingers. I mean, look how quick this goes on. Uwe, I can't see that far. I'm sorry. Could you give me some type of tip which brushes to buy? Listen, I use cheap brushes. You can go get Atlas brushes, which will cost you about $5, which are fine. Fine art brushes are very good. You can get them at Hobby Lobby or Joann's. I like the fine art. They're usually on sale for 50% off, and they're good, solid brushes. Hold on. I'm going to pull one out because I have one that is still in the wrapper. So just bear with me, Uwe. And I will help you out in a second, my brother. Alright, sorry. I'm new to it. Are these contrasts of Citadel mixed base or in wash? No, these Citadel contrast paints are supposed to cut corners for you. Okay, they're kind of paints mixed with a medium, so you don't have to mix it yourself, and it really does on certain colors really save you a lot of time. And I'll show you a couple examples as such. Because we just been cranking stuff out here. And let me just get this last guy here, get the base on, and then I'll come back and I'll show you. See, look how creepy this dude is. Now, I'm going to go over his thing here, but we are going to, that sucker thing on his face, don't worry. We'll get that. That's going to be a totally different color. And it just happens to be a color that I'm going to use because I want to paint the inside of Croc's mouth. I want to give him some depth, you know. The whole point of using the contrast paints is they're supposed to help you quickly paint a huge army and, you know, get it tabletop quality. So you have that kind of built-in wash almost. And if you could see, as you can see here, just doing it this way, it's, you know, normally you would put you know, if you're just making one coat on this, where you would have to put the pallid witch flesh, then use a certain type of wash over it. And what you're doing is you are cranking this out, you know, pretty quickly. Boom, 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 boom. So I'm going to show you some brushes here. Just bear with me. All right, let me get that little neck there. There we go. All right, so I'm going to close that out. And you see how quick that was, you know? Either way, it was going to be quick. All right. All right, let me show you. Okay. These are usually on sale. These are very good. Master Touch. And you can get these at Hobby Lobby. They are part of the Fine Art Studio. Usually something really detailed like this. I wait till they go 50% off, and you know, I got this brush for $2.50, but I can get a whole pack of brushes, kind of like these, the Fine Touch set that I use sometimes. These are cheap. These are a lousy $1.99, and you know, I can get a couple of good brushes out of them. But usually I'll get the ones that are like, oh, sorry about that, making it fade, for $6 or $7, and I get like 15 to 20 brushes in it, and I can really kind of, I can find about 10 out of those 15 brushes. I'll have 10 that I'll really use, and it'll make a big difference. If I'm going to buy something very fine, specifically for detailing and something I really want to have for a while, I'll go, and like I said, I'll wait for these to go on sale, and then I will go buy these up. Bing, bang, boom. And you can see I have different types here. So, you know, for $7, I'm going to pay for three detail brushes. That's fine. That's a lot better than paying $10 of a GW one, which, well, listen, GW ones are fantastic. Or the Citadel ones are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's just, hey, I go through so many brushes and I paint so many figures, my brushes wear out. And I don't mind using a cheaper brush because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get it done. And that's pretty much all I'm trying to do. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to move these guys right off here. Come on, come on. And I can touch these guys up later. That's nothing craziness. What are we? Almost 56. Okay, so I'm just going to show you real quick. Like for this shirt. Remember we were talking about this shirt. How we really want this shirt, and we're gonna close it out here with this. And I think we covered a lot of stuff, but we'll come up top and we'll talk a little bit, because that's what we do. And what you want to do is you want to get one of those smaller brushes, and this is a dry paint. It's one of the technical paints from Citadel. It really works well and does a lot of things. So like I said, I just want to kind of get a little bit of this dry on here. You can actually just use a regular paint, but you got to make sure that you take as much as the paint off. You don't want a lot of paint on when you're doing something, or else it's going to ruin everything that you have. I usually like to turn the thing over, and if there's letters on it or something, I'll just go over it, and if I can make those letters stand, then I'm ready to do a little dry brush in there. Okay, see how that kind of worked? And all I want to do is just see, even that, you just, less paint is better than too much paint. And just lightly, because all we want to do is just bring out, boom, that shirt. See how that shirt starts coming out now? We can work that around a little bit, and you can work a little into his pants here, because the gray kind of fits very well and brings, especially with a brown, and it highlights some of the higher points. And you could just use that same spot. You don't need a lot of paint to do this. All you want to do is just get the high spots. Always go for the high spots. Think of wrestling. I only want to do the high spots. And if you haven't seen Top Pro Wrestling, make sure you check out this week's show. Well, last week's show was the final one that was taped. We're coming back live this Saturday night. Get ready. Me, the Tiger, and you never know what creepazoid from that after further review might show up. Jeez. Those guys won't leave me alone. All because I hit a guy with a chair. Jeez. Some of the things that people take personal. Alright. And you see how that shirt now stands out? See how that stands out? There we go. Alright, let's put that aside. Let's get some water off here. Alright, let's see. You dry yet? Yes, you are. Stuff dries pretty quickly. Now, what I like to do, and hopefully you can hear me. Tim says, yep, you save your old brushes for dry brushing. That's correct. Rob's better at it. But many of us tend to abuse brushes when dry brushing. Oh, no, I abuse them. Just want to say, Uwe is German name, and I like how you say it. Well, thank you so much. I try. I usually butcher everything else. Do I want to use an Emperor's Children? Yeah, I think that'll work. So this is the color that I want to kind of dance around with a little bit. And let me use an older brush here. I know I have one here. I know you guys are just looking at nothing right now, but hold on, we will get there. The first thing I want to do is I just want to get a little bit of this on here. Okay, and I just kind of, I don't want to take it all off like we do when we're dry brushing. But inside his mouth, he's got a tongue, and I want to make sure that I get that tongue to stand out. Yeah, see? Now, we could probably put just a dab on there. Just a dab, just a little touch. And this is an old brush. And guess what? Old brushes sometimes are as good as new brushes. There we go. Now that brings a little depth to him. Now we'll work his teeth and everything else in. Meanwhile, on Mr. Bloom here, he has this weird face thing on. And I just want to... Yeah, there we go. Notice how I don't have a ton on my brush here. Alright, just very lightly going over this over and over and over and over until I get the effect that I want. I'm just trying to hit the high spots here. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all I want to do with my man here. Because I want him to be, first of all, this guy, what the heck is this guy anyways? Alright, that's all I want to say. And we don't want to lose all that other stuff that we worked so hard to get in here. There you go. Look at that. Alright, let's do this. Boom. Alright, that guy's creepy. Works for me. I saw a little spot here. Let's just get that in there. I wonder if the wife will talk to me after spending all that money. I don't know. You'll see if it's worth it tomorrow, right, guys? Alright, there we go. Kind of blends in with my hand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Boom, 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 boom. Saw a couple things at Miniature Market that are right up your alley. WWW Dice Masters. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. And a new Godzilla game. Yeah, I heard the new Godzilla game was going to be cool. Alright, so there we go. Alright, let's go up top here. Woo! We painted ships. Wow, we've done it all in an hour. And I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, we painted ships. We painted a zombie swamp guy. We painted a whole team of whatever the heck they are. We painted Dr. Death there. We painted criminals. We've got Bane. We've got Croc. We did all right. We're doing okay. And we did some pirate ships and stuff like that. How easy was it to do that, huh? It wasn't very hard. Okay? And you guys can do it. I know you can. It's out there for you guys to do. It is out there for you guys to do. And you can do this. You can do it all. I'm telling you right now. I'm really excited because I've got this new computer that we're going to be putting in. We went crazy. I just went in and I went for it. So I've got to actually clean out that shelf that's behind here. And we have a portable... My monitor's so far away because it's on my laptop. But I have a monitor that I can now pull forward. And I can see everything that's going on. I can move it. I can twist it and turn it. I bought probably one of the biggest gaming computers that you could possibly buy for the money. So hopefully all this will pay off. I don't know. We'll find out. The water is the best reason I've seen so far to use the contrast paints. Well, Tim just laid down the law. There you go. All right. I've said it all. I hope you enjoyed this. We kind of went over a few things while we were painting a whole bunch of stuff. We had a whole bunch of stuff to paint, so I was really happy to kind of get some of this done while you guys were here. And, kind of working on like 4 different things. We've got other games that we've got to work on here. We're going to be working on Skull Tales. Brook City we're going to be painting up because we want to get those to the table pretty quickly before Gen Con. So we're going to be putting in the work, and that's what we do here. All right, I've said it all. Great to see you all. I love you all. You know that. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was fun. And I'm tired. It's been a month and a half. It's been a couple of months where it's been just absolutely kooky. Pregnant girls, sick girls, all these other things, babies, weddings, traveling. Hey, that's part of the life though, right? As always, my good friends, I can only tell you this. Tomorrows are never guaranteed, so just make sure that you make the most out of today as best as you can. And, of course, as always, I think you guys are the best. And as always, to the world, you may be one person. But to one person, you may be the world. And to me, you are all my world. And I thank you so much for watching this. You don't have to, and yet you show up. Thank you so much. And Keith Collins said something, so we're actually going to stop here. I think I will just pack you in my luggage from Gen Con to come home and paint. Well, I can do that, buddy, but all you have to do is ask and I'll come. I love you all. Thank you all so much for everything. It means the world to me. Be good to somebody. Be really good to somebody, because not only is it going to make that person feel good, it's going to make you feel good too. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. Make sure you get your Rob merch. It's kind of cool. We got t-shirts now. We just got to get I got to get a Top Pro Wrestling. I forgot to get the Top Pro Wrestling. See, I keep talking even though I'm trying to say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Take it easy. Talk to Helen. She's got everything figured out. We'll see you.